Isaac, we're about to do the KickCast. What are you doing?
You said we'd go longboarding.
I don't know how longboard, dude.
I don't know. Figure it out.
Okay, I guess so. All right, guys. In this episode of the KickCast, Kickstarter wants you to know that you don't go shopping there. We talk about a possible Airplay alternative. How about longboarding? It sucks going uphill, but going downhill is the best way. So how are we going to solve that? And manly mayonnaise. All that and more coming up. Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of the KickCast, and this is probably our final episode of the KickCast. Joining me as always is my inevitable co-host, Isaac. How you doing, Isaac?
Hola. I'm doing very good. Very, very good.
I just realized on your lower third it says put stuff here. I didn't know what to put down for your stuff, so you can find them at put stuff here.
Put stuff.
As always, I am Ktdata, and here's all the stuff right there on there. So, of course, this is a KickCast where we decide to go find some cool or unique Kickstarter projects that we think that you or somebody else might like. And we have a grading scale on back, track, or sack on there. Usually we do 4 products, but today we actually have news for once, Isaac. News.
Big news.
All right. So how about we just jump into it and kind of explain what some of these new news is right now.
New news is, well, in the past, we've had some problems with Kickstarter projects that don't have like a working prototype and things like that. They'll put up like a SketchUp file and they'll be like, I want to make this, right?
Yeah.
But so I think it's resulted in a lot of projects not coming to fruition or getting funded. So they put these guidelines on their site. There's now a section called risks and challenges. Project creators now must list these in their project descriptions. Right here. So these are some of the new guidelines for hardware and product design. Product simulations are not allowed. Like I was saying, you can't just like put up like a SketchUp file and just be like, this is how I want my product to be. What they'd rather have you do is actually get a working prototype going. So something that works, it's functional as it is. Even if it's missing some of the features that you want to have in it, it needs to be a functional prototype.
Something physical, at least.
Something physical, yeah. But so you can't do like proto-realistic renderings or anything like that, or say this is part of what you want to do. I think, did they say anything about making, like if you reach a certain goal, they'll incorporate a feature? Can you still do stuff like that? I didn't read that.
I don't think they mentioned that, so it's probably still for
so it's probably still that. Maybe you can still, have a product, but you want to incorporate something if you reach like $100,000 or something. So, but anyways, the best rule of thumb is under promise and over deliver. So that's kind of the Kickstarter theme, and I think that will keep a lot of people pleased as they back these projects. So,
yeah, and then the reason I actually like this is that it's gotten to the point where people just think that you can just go on Kickstarter and magically make money off of it.
It's an ATM.
Yeah, that's pretty much. So that's actually part of the reason why I wanted to show off this show, because so many people are doing that. A lot of the good projects are getting covered, and notice that every time we actually do this, we never say that it's a we don't usually say like go and you're going to get your item for sure. We always call it a project, and then we try our best not to make it into being all about the product itself right there. Another change that they're actually doing is you can't have multiple quantities on a reward. And so we've seen this where a lot of the higher tier ones, usually around 1,000 or more, you can get like 6, 7 of the product. And the only caveat is only you can have single quantities, or if it's sensible to have more than one. Say if you're gonna do something for like a bed or like a bed lifter or whatever. I don't know. I'm really bad at this, but you can't just have one leg, or you're gonna have
unless if it's crucial to the design or something, you can incorporate more.
Incorporate more. And then of course all these changes are now effective immediately. So Isaac, what do you kind of think of this?
The new guidelines?
Changes? Yeah.
So like I was mentioning earlier, I hope they haven't said anything yet, but I still think there should be room to allow that you want things to be incorporated in the project if you reach a certain level. Because some things in a prototype, you just can't get them made. You know, they might be too expensive or something like that. I know on the Pebble Watch, they incorporated like other features that they went along. They increased the waterproofing. They made Bluetooth 4.0, and I think some of those things came about because they had so much more funding to make those features enabled. That's kind of my thoughts initially, but I like this. It kind of cleans out a lot of the junk. Hopefully it gets rid of a lot of just the junk that's spammed on there. Actually have some cool projects that people can be backed and, you know, make browsing a little bit more enjoyable on the site.
Yeah. Well, like I think you mentioned the Pebble Watch, and I think that is actually one of the reasons they have this risks section right here. Because the only reason we don't have a Pebble Watch right now, because they slated that they would have it out by September, is because it got overfunded.
Yeah, that's true.
You go from thinking, okay, maybe we'll make 1,000 units to making 1,000,000 units. That changes.
It's a little bit different operation.
Totally changes everything in the product line and your design, and you're adding all these features now. So I think that's really helpful. But have you noticed that on a lot of projects they kind of just put in some fluff? It's usually like, oh, I've done large products like this, and I have the ingenuity to see this through. I don't think that's honestly what they were looking for. I think they wanted a little bit more accountability, saying that, okay, if we get more than this, it might be a delay because we have to go make other things. Like I actually think the smarter stylus that we covered way back when, the guy actually spent extra money to overseas some of the Kickstarter portion of it because there were so many people that ordered that they wouldn't get here in time. So he actually paid the extra money out of his pocket to get that to us. And I honestly think that we need to see a little bit more of that out in the out in that section right there. But
and I think that's where they disclose that, you know, under promise, over deliver. So give them not so aggressive timelines for products and stuff. So people are pleased.
And I also
be realistic in your goals too.
And what helps is that now, since you can't do photorealistic renderings, they're not starting from scratch either.
Yeah.
You know, they have some working prototypes, and I think that will force them to get farther along the progress
get
before
through
putting
some
it
of
on
those
Kickstarter, you know.
hoops. Yeah.
I know you're just trying to design a product, and you thought it would be pretty easy to get through, and
I thought I'd get it up there in 3 months, and it's been about 6 months now, almost 7.
So of course, you know, it takes a lot more time than some people think.
Yeah,
and I think this really helps, and it's going to help out. The only one that I don't agree with is this multiple quantities issue, and that's because you can actually have more than one Kickstarter account and link to the same Amazon account.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just going to get...
What's going to prevent people from just purchasing on different accounts for the same thing?
You're just going to get a lot more fake accounts, and then it gets a lot more messy, because what happens if a person gets one of their accounts, but the other one, they never got their item?
Yeah.
You know, you have to deal with this, and if they set the shipping name to the same person, I can see a lot of logistical problems right there. I know what they're trying to do, but I was actually thinking of a way to do this alternatively. I would say, don't say no single products, but put a physical cap. Say, if it's only a single product, you only can do 5. So, you know, that's reasonable.
Yeah, no one's going to order 5 of one thing. They're going to do, maybe they want 5, but they're not going to want 10 Pebble watches.
And then what worries me a little bit is their definition of sensible.
Yeah, it's ambiguous.
They don't really give you a definition, and it's really up to the person looking through the actual Kickstarter project and reviewing, and it's up to their discretion on how to do it. Which kind of worries me a little bit, because if you have heard about the news, have you heard about the Locatron that's been out? So the Locatron is actually it's not an Arduino. It's made out of the Atmega chip on there, and you put it over your deadbolt, and you can use your smartphone, send a text message, or any Bluetooth 4.0 device. So
that's going to limit to 1, but I do want 10 of those.
No, the thing is, they're not even on Kickstarter right now because they say it's considered a home improvement item on there. So I could see this limiting some of the other products out there. But the the one thing that I don't think we actually mention a lot on the KickCast is, although we cover Kickstarter mostly, we do cover, there are other crowdfunding sites out there, such as
true.
Indiegogo is another one right there. And they actually have a different model that if you back a product, they take the money, and even if they don't get to their goal, the actual person will get how much X amount of money to go. And they're a little bit more lax on that. And I know some people like to do that. Plus, it's a little bit more Canada friendly. Kickstarter right now is only U.S., so it's a little bit more difficult because you actually have to have somebody in the U.S. with a bank account in the U.S.
It's true. It hasn't established like as big of international presence yet.
So, that being said, if you guys actually do have products for other crowdfunding sites that it's not Kickstarter, please feel free to send that in. Our email is kickcast@ktdata.net, and we'd be glad to cover that too. The only reason we're covering Kickstarter off at the beginning is because that's kind of where all the buzz is and where people are kind of starting off at. But
it has a lot of good stuff
Indiegogo,
going on, a lot of stuff to look at.
I know there's a ton of other sites that are kind of slipping my mind right now, but if you have any of those, please feel free to kind of send us over. And following these guidelines, I know our beta episode so far, Isaac, has kind of been a lot products. We cover a lot of products, and that's because you and we're gadget geeks.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm the
like
guy
to
who
collect things,
yeah,
looking for things always.
Yeah, I have 5 tablets. Why? Because I like to collect them. And so, again, even if it's on Kickstarter, if you have music products and film products that you want us to cover, feel free to send it in. We just don't know a lot. Well,
we need you to help educate us
always,
and broaden our minds.
We just don't feel like we're qualified enough to kind of say this one's cooler than the next project coming out.
We're getting there, though.
But again, we'll try our best to kind of remind you that Kickstarter is not a store also.
It's true. That's another point that they made, is that Kickstarter is not a store. I mean, if you have the resources to be able to put a product out there on your own, you probably should do it that way. Yeah. Kickstarter is for those grassroots. It's people who need that help to get their thing to the marketplace.
Yeah, you're not backing something to get a product. You're actually backing it because you like their idea and you want to support them. I think that kind of gets lost along the messages that you really want to support these guys, even if you don't get anything physical out of it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just jump into our first product, or not product, project.
This is homegrown again,
and
from Salt Lake City.
We like to cover things from, at least have one of the projects that we cover from Utah. Why not? And it's called the AirBridge. It's actually a universal plug-and-play device that allows cordless iOS mirroring. I know it sounds a little like it's already been done, but what they claim is that you don't have to configure an app, no settings to configure, don't need to worry about networks, you don't need power because it runs on batteries, and no wires to keep your tether down like we have in our studio right now.
That sounds too good to be true.
Yeah. So, and then along with it is that it has a base station and a kind of dock or handset, as they call it, that you plug into your iOS device.
Looks like a cordless phone.
Yes. And then there are also 2 models of it, the Lite version and the Pro version. Both of them support powerless playtime. Again, they're all on batteries, compatible with the iPad 1, 2, and new iPad, or 3 as some people call it, the iPhone 4 and 4S, and iPhone 5. Mirroring is only supported on the iPhone 2, 3, iPad 2 and 3, or the new iPad, the iPhone 4S and later, and any future iOS devices right there. The TV out feature is supported in the iPad 1 and the iPhone 4. It's supposedly cordless 1080p mirroring and with lossless audio, and they have an app called AirBridge, which is part of that, and then both also output at HDMI and a 3.5 audio video connector. Those red and blue ones that you always see coming around. To charge it, it uses micro USB. I'm not a fan of micro USB because I just don't feel like the connector is really stable. On top of that, there are also is 2 versions of the iOS app. One is a paid version, and then one is a free version. So the free app is a kind of viewer app where you can actually just download it, and then you can view what the other iPad is sharing, but it has a 10 megabit file size limit. And the paid version is just like the free version, but it also is free if you get one of these Lite or Pro version devices, and you don't have any limits on them. For me, the first thing I thought, okay, it sounds like a cool idea, but we already have AirPlay on our iOS devices, so why don't you just get an Apple TV? They claim this is a lot simpler than an Apple TV, but as you heard me kind of describing, it gets a little complicated right there.
It's not simple.
Yeah. Because you have
too many things, too many players in the mix.
Yeah, you have 2 versions of the app, and they're barely any different, and then you have 2 versions of the device, which is even more confusing. And I'm not a fan of that handheld connector. As you can see, like on my iPad right here, I have a clear acrylic case on it right there. So I don't know how well this is going to fit unless I take it off and go naked with my iPad.
Yeah, it's too bulky, that back piece that goes around like that.
You can see it right here. It kind of is like a sled of some sort, and it just looking at how big
the air sled.
Yeah, looking at how big it is, it kind of goes against this Apple philosophy of simple and just works. And
I was saying it would be cool if it worked with lots of other devices.
You
know, if it worked with like Android and all, and if it was this end all be all to mirroring any of your devices, that'd be really cool. But it's too bulky. It's just for Apple. Like you said, there's too many versions. There's all these different components you have to have.
Supposedly,
cool idea. I don't know if it's the best implementation though.
Supposedly in their FAQs, they actually put that they are going to be working on later versions, but after they actually get the iOS version, their plans are to get a Mac and a Windows version too.
Yeah, I've read that.
There. Then go to Android and other devices right there. What worries me about the Android devices is that there's so many different Android products out there.
It's true. You're going to have compatibility issues again.
Yeah, and then most of them have the micro USB connector. But like I said, the micro USB connector, I honestly think is one of the most unsecure devices. Like the 2 tablets I have, the Kindle Fire and the HP touchpad that uses that, every time I plug them in to charge, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to stay in or not. One of our coworkers, his wife, his Kindle Fire, their micro SD connector actually broke, and she had to send it in to get a new one.
I've been using it on some of the prototype I've been building, and it broke off. I had to secure it in the housing, very much so.
That's
teeny.
one thing that worries me about this, and just they say there's a lot of it's hassle free, but looking at it, it seems like there's remote situations like at a conference or something that it may come in handy, but out of all that work, it's almost the same as setting up an Apple TV.
Just my sister's wedding. They did a slideshow, and we needed to mirror some images. All I did was just bring the Apple TV, plug it in, and then I was going.
Because most likely, if you're doing a conference or somewhere and you're the person hosting it, you probably already have the network set up.
It's true.
Just plug and play and go. So, Isaac.
This is almost getting that the Iron Man when Tony Stark interrupts that session and he wants to push video to the screen to show the chamber. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, I honestly don't like how you have to have its own app and everything to share files and stuff. Like, might as well just send it through email now if you're going to do it like that.
Yeah.
So, Isaac, your verdict: back, track, or sack?
I like the idea a lot. I'm going to give him props to trying to get this all set up, but it's too distracting. It's not seamless, so I'm going to have to sack it.
All right. For me too, I like to support Utah products because, well, we live here, supporting the community and all, but I have to say sack on this one.
Yeah.
All right. So
Better luck next time.
Yeah. So how about we go on to our next item right here, and Isaac, explain to us what the Lagrange L1 is.
Okay, so we're kind of slowly branching out of our tech world, but so I do a lot of longboarding. Well, I used to. It's kind of dangerous.
Especially in the winter.
Yes. But so we brought a longboard here. This one's had a lot of love. You can see lots of scrapes. But who hates pedaling up a hill? It's horrible.
Especially in Utah, because we
have a lot of hills.
We have some crazy good hills to go down. But
by our universities, they'll cruise down them. But I mean, you hate going up hills. So how do you get up them? a fully customizable electric skateboard, the Lagrange L1. Sounds like a Formula One race car.
Yeah. I feel like there should be an Italian guy or something.
Yeah.
Like promoting it.
But this actually is really cool. So they've made products like this before. They've made like gas-powered longboards. People trick out their longboards and attach motors to them. But I've never seen a design that's actually so compact and actually pretty well engineered. Let me go over some of the specifications for it. Let's go down. This is a nice profile shot of it there. There you can see the whole streamline. There's a wire set up at the front where your battery can hook in. You can underride it underneath here, where there's an optional backpack that you can hook it to that the user can wear. And I know that seems kind of bulky and going up. There's a quick release here just in case you fall off, FYI. But yeah, so it has a battery pack there. It's a single 3200 watt 4.3 premium brushless outrunner motor. That's like a standard motor. And then it has an adjustable electronic speed control. It's a wireless remote. The cool thing about this is it has electronic brake assist. So when you're going downhill, instead of, I don't know if you guys have ever longboarded, you have to put your foot down and sacrifice your foot to slow down. It's kind of
shoes.
Yeah,
the
shoes.
shoes.
It's kind of dangerous. But this actually has a throttle so you can decrease your speed, and it uses the electric motor, just like you're downshifting in your car.
It's always good right there.
Yeah. And then, so it's made out of a robust hobby grade, the wireless remote controller. It's nice and robust. Kind of similar to like your remote control planes. It uses a DX2E Spectrum. That's a standard RC remote. And then it has a 10 amp battery pack and charger. That's a lot of juice.
All right. So I have to ask you.
Yes.
For the first thing is actually, how long does that battery actually last?
So it's going to depend how you're riding. The electronic, when it's going to be downshifting, it's going to use some of the battery to drain. So in Utah, you're probably going to go through it in maybe 30 minutes or something. But given that, like if you live like in California or somewhere with more rolly hills or something, and you just need a little assist every once in a while, you just want to cruise along the beach, it probably lasts you closer to an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. But it just depends on how much you use it. If you're flying down hills, actually, I just thought of something. It would be so cool if it charged the battery while it was going down the hills. Like it used something like the Toyota does. You know, it ramps up the motor and charges the battery pack. I don't think it does that, but that would be really cool.
You're telling me this could become the Prius.
It could. It could be the Prius of longboards. Well, I hope they're listening to us because I want them to change that feature.
maybe we'll send this episode to them and see.
Yeah, we'll see. We just thought of something that you could do with your product.
Yeah. So I don't longboard. I play basketball, and that's pretty much limited to all my physical activity right there.
Yeah.
But so does this cause any weight distribution issues or anything as you're going down? Because I don't know a thing about longboarding other than it's 4 wheels.
Yeah, so what they actually did, the options, since the battery pack's on the bottom, that's a little bit more bulky. So you have the option of wearing it on a backpack, and I think that was actually smart because it, just like if you're a heavier person or if you're lighter, your weight's on you. You know how to move your weight around. And it's not tied down to the longboard. And that, I think, makes it a little bit more nimble. Other longboards in the past have always incorporated the battery pack along the bottom of the board, kind of weighing it down. It also inhibits kind of your carving ability and things like that. And it lowers your profile as well on the side of the board. It makes it, if you have the battery pack running along the bottom, you don't have as much clearance. But I think it's really cool. I mean, it brings me back to like, if you ever watch Back to the Future.
Marty!
Yes, Marty! It's getting close to the hoverboard. Not quite there. That's why you should back this, because we're one step closer to the hoverboard.
Yeah. All right, so one last question. So we actually see on your board right here, it's pretty scratched and everything up there.
Yeah.
So do you know what kind of enclosure they're putting this? Because obviously this is not.
Oh yeah, this is made to take a beating. I mean, these are stainless steel enclosures, and it looks like you can. Oh, one of the other features was you can. Surf rods. These are Randall trucks, but you can match the truck color. So your trucks, whatever your truck colors are, if you have black or red or whatever, you can match them. So it's built pretty strong. It looks like they kept that in mind to take a beating. It looks like you could probably even replace these belts and stuff. This is really cool. I just wish it was cheaper.
So what's the price range on this? Staying away from the product, what is the if you wanted to back this, how much money would you have to back to get an item?
That's true. So you're saying if I just wanted to just go out and buy it?
Yeah.
I mean, longboards like so if you bought this, I think retail is like $120. You can buy a longboard for like $100. But I wouldn't want to pay over $250 for it. And I understand that's really expensive. Those battery packs are expensive. But so they have all these other little rewards, things like that. $95, get a T-shirt.
T-shirt.
So you can build your own electric motor for $300. I don't even think that includes the battery pack. It does not include the battery pack. So $300 starting out. If you want everything fully loaded, you're gonna have to pay $950.
Wow.
You could buy a little gas scooter to get around cheaper than
you
that.
could buy like almost 10 longboards.
You could buy a moped
on there. So what is their goal at actually right now?
Yeah. So let's go up. So I saw this a little bit early. I wanted to give it a little bit of noticeability. They want almost $100,000.
Wow.
It's only at 2,970. It's 23 days. Wow. Unfortunately, I want to give them the momentum to get there, but I don't know if it's going to do it.
All right. So I'm guessing from you, that's a back?
I have to track it because I can't afford it.
All right. So for me, I say track too. Yeah. I don't know anything about longboards, but I think it looks like these guys put a lot of time to engineer this, and it seems like a big problem. So like if you guys have like $1 or anything, you go back them, $1 if
100,000 people gave $1,
they get to their goal. So
that's some optimistic math right there. I like that.
Isaac, I do that because I'm a man. And do you know what else a man needs?
Mayonnaise.
That's right. A man needs some manly mayonnaise right there. And our next product is actually mayonnaise. And yes, I did say it right. I do not have a heavy accent. I know how to say mayonnaise. This product is actually called mayonnaise. And I'm a big fan of mayo. You think it's just one kind of mayo, right? My world opened to mayo and just flavoring it and everything when I tried baconaise. That was bacon flavored mayo on there. So I am actually excited for mayonnaise right here. And I also think it's awesome branding right there.
It is. $10 reward. Look at that.
Yeah. So it's basically a combination of jalapeno spice, smoke, garlic, and mayo. And I love the story about these guys too. The story of these guys is they just had some jalapenos fresh out of the garden, and they were like, well, these are too spicy, so let's throw them on the grill to cool them down. Okay, they're still too spicy off the grill. Let's throw in some mayonnaise. Oh, how about someone put some garlic in there?
Oh, yeah. What about cream cheese?
Yeah, and eventually the formulation came out, and you can actually see right here they're testing out their batch right now at the bottling
cheese
plant
going
right
in
there.
Got some health food safety code going
on. I love
on.
the chef.
Except the beard isn't covered. That's all right.
I don't care, man. That's epic.
That's
right
mayonnaise.
That's mayonnaise right there.
Don't put on no hairnet over my beard.
And I've already backed it because $20 gets you 2 bottles right there, and it helps these guys because these guys, I think they're PR guys during the day, and they just discovered something, and I really want to try it. I cannot wait to see how it would work in fry sauce.
It would be good in fry sauce.
Fry sauce. I want to try it on corn on the cob. Corn on the cob.
I want to put it on a burger.
Put it on a burger. Put it on a sandwich. I have a hard time using regular mayo now. I'm not even gonna lie.
I just have one question. What's the shelf life on this?
I don't know.
Did you ever run into that? They probably haven't even looked at it yet.
So that's a mayonnaise right there. I've just realized I've been putting up the lower thirds, but okay.
Oh, shoot.
So that's the shelf life. I don't know, maybe a year or so if you don't open it. But it's mayo, dude.
It's mayo.
You kind of use it. And I think it's a great branding. That's what really surprised me about this product is that you'd think somebody already have mayonnaise as a brand name.
Hasn't been done.
And it's pretty good. And the funny thing about this project is this is for a lot of people who are trying to make Kickstarter projects and stuff. They actually had a different video up than what's on their page right now, and it was kind of them doing manly things and kind of promoting that. And they actually people gave them comments, and they ended up changing it, and it's more
just to a straight talk, what it is,
to the point, what they're trying to do. And I actually kind of like those a little bit better too, because some of these videos go for 10 minutes long. You don't even know what they're doing. Like, I honestly,
what are they talking about?
I honestly saw a product that I thought they were making board games. And until I read down on the description, I'm like, oh, they're making a computer version of the board games on there.
That's a good point for videos to keep them straight to the point.
And please, if you are actually going to make a video, this is a pet peeve of mine. Use a proper mic. I honestly,
don't sound like you're underwater 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, or you're in an echoey room, because everybody likes to use the camera mic, and it's just like, oh, and here's my idea right here, and I can't sit through 3 minutes of that. It bugs me.
Or at least
so
substitute
badly.
for text. Just get rid of. Just bring up subtitles on it.
These mayonnaise guys do it too, but it's not as bad because you can actually hear them decently well. But I could still tell it was echoey. So please use a microphone on there. So Isaac, that's actually all. Well, before we go on, backtrack or sack? You already know I backed it.
Oh, what's the cheapest bottle? I like the projects that everyone can afford. $5?
You'll be $12 gets you a bottle. But I'm telling you, that $20 one's better because you get 2 bottles. And honestly, these guys look pretty cool. Just saying.
What if I just take these ingredients and make it by myself?
Do you like cook? I know I'm not safe in the kitchen. I'm just saying.
I'm going to buy a bottle.
I'm just saying. It's put me and fire.
Are you saying you're a man?
You put me in front of a grill, I can do that. You put me in front of a stovetop, I'm going to burn down the house. I'm just telling you that.
There we go. So I'm going to buy a bottle because I don't want to risk trying to make mayonnaise.
I'm just saying. Things have happened before with me in a kitchen that are just not safe.
All right. On that note,
so that's all we have for today. That's our 3 products. Remember, normally we do 4, and always send us stuff in. And I think this is the right lower third. Nope, this is the right one. Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Beta episode.
Shoot us something if you want us to back something.
If you want us to talk about it, take a look at it. Also, check out KickCast.net if you want to see these show notes. I know I forgot to put lower thirds on 2 of the projects. Why do I keep saying product? Because I can't speak English.
They're not projects. They're
projects. Yes, projects.
That's true.
Links to all these projects on there. If you didn't see the lower third, or you're lazy and you just want to click on a link. I know I would rather do that than
I want to click on the link.
Check it out there. And then Isaac and I, so you're always wondering about how we're always backing these projects. And when we get something, we're going to review them, and we're going to call it KickCast Rewind. And
Rewind.
Those are not going to be made into the main show. You'll actually have to go to kickcast.net.
But there'll be links.
Yeah. There will be links. And if you head on over to ktdata.net, you will see them posted. Nice little write-up, maybe a little video, possibly of us using it or something.
For sure.
That, or if you back a Kickstarter project and you think it was totally worth it and people should know about it, send us emails too.
Or if you backed it and you got ripped off.
Yeah, we want to know.
I want to hear some horror stories.
As much as we like backing products, we're not made of money.
Yeah. So we need you.
Yes, we need you. Also, check us out on Facebook, which is facebook.com/kickcast, or Twitter @kickcast, twitter.com/kickcast, Google Plus at plus.kickcast.net, or again, our show notes on there. If you go check those out, it's hard. Like Isaac and I had this discussion too, trying to narrow it down to 4 products we covered.
It is hard. There's a lot of material.
Yeah. So we like to cover we post some projects that we think are cool or caught our eye, but couldn't make the cut for the show. Those are on there too. They get posted shortly after the official show does. And of course, we're doing this every 2 weeks. As you guys know, I do another podcast, so me doing 2 podcasts in a week probably kill me. So our next one is actually October 16th, 2012, and you can watch us at live.kickcast.net. We should usually start around 6 or 7 p.m. Mountain Time, since part of the beta was to test out how long it takes us to set up, and we got it down.
Yeah, we got about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, 30-minute show, 30-minute teardown. That's pretty impressive.
So enjoy. And the turnaround times on these are going to be quicker too. So that's all. Oh yeah, I always forget to say this. Thank you for your sister who did the our intro music.
Oh, yeah.
and our ending music. Her name is Abby, right?
Abby Paulson.
Yeah.
I think she might have her album still on iTunes, but I know she's going to push it out again.
Yeah.
So she plays guitar and sings.
So when she pushes out, let us know. We'll have it on site because she's good. You know, we pretty much gave her this ambiguous idea on what she wanted. She kind of took a rant with
Play
it.
something.
Pretty much. So, other than that, you have anything else to plug?
Ooh.
Do you want me to have you go to? Oops, not.
Try my lower thirds.
Yeah, right there.
There we go.
Put something there.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
All right. It's been a pleasure, Kevin. This is
always,
good stuff.
Always fun times. So we will see you guys next time on the KickCast.
See ya.
Bye.